I want to talk a little retention. But I think of Benny Fisher at Big Fish, and
Yep.
if you listen to the podcast, you see me on webinars. I reference Benny quite a bit, but Benny's doing a lot of really good things. When you talk about present leadership, he's always going live from meeting rooms and conference rooms with his team and trainings with his team or on site with his team. And what a way to display, hey, you're going to have a present leader without coming out and just saying it in the job posting like, oh, you're going to have a present leader. Like, no better way than to leverage social media and show like, hey, here I am with my team on the job site, or here I am with my team in the war room, and we're training and we're getting better. So that's just an example, but I want to talk a little bit about retention, because I think really the big thing that we're, as contractors, that they're facing right now is there are a lot of great companies out there, and there are a lot of companies that are having that growth mindset and creating that great culture. And so you're not just up against the other guy that roofs now, and it's like, well, yeah, I roof roofs over here and you roof roofs over there, but that's all we do is roof.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's companies in your market that are creating that great culture and do have that clear path to growth in their company. Maybe they even have, roles of like, hey, technology is now a new thing and I don't quite understand technology, so I have a technology champion on my team, or I have, a culture champion, or a people's, whatever it is. How important is that to a retention standpoint? Because I think that's truly the bigger problem here. Like, hiring is a huge problem, but if we can just retain the vast majority of our team, that makes the hiring piece a lot easier because we're not having to do it as much.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's if your business is a bucket and there's a really big hole at the bottom, it doesn't matter how quickly you're trying to fill it up. The analogy being, if there's people always leaving, it's a lot more work on the front end to fill those holes. So, yeah, it's an incredibly important metric. And what's the question? You're just wondering like what my thoughts are on how to do that well, how to keep your people.
Yeah, well, just basically like talking through like how valuable some of these things you just talked about, like making them feel part of a bigger thing, those kind of things. Yeah, it is great for attracting the talent,
Mm-hmm.
but I would argue that it probably plays as big, if not a larger role on the back end for retaining that great talent.
Oh, totally it does. Yeah, totally it does. Everything that I just said, right? Between like visible growth opportunities and be purpose driven and have a fun company culture and recognize your people and have present leadership, all that stuff, like that is equally as important to keep people for the long haul. Where it's actually, that's why you do it, is for the company culture that people want to be a part of. What I'm saying is just do that first and then do a really good job showcasing it in your recruiting efforts, and that's the window that people want to look through and go, holy crap, this is a really cool place. Um, People don't generally leave jobs for, we know this, right? It's almost a cliche to say, like, people don't generally leave jobs for a couple dollars an hour more. They say they do. Like that's what they'll tell you. Well, the money was better. But that's kind of a cover up. Like, generally speaking, people leave bosses more than they leave roles. They leave jobs. Um, and so I just think it's imperative, if you want to do this for the long haul, like, you need to create a place that people want to stay. Give people interesting challenges that they have a deep curiosity to solve. Um, Give them development and growth opportunities that they can't find elsewhere. Load up their plates with responsibilities, like get them involved, get them off the bench and actually playing, like, in the game, playing on the field, where the score is being counted, and you'll just find, like, this level of buy-in to the mission is way more than a $2 an hour raise could achieve. So that's kind of my take on it. Everyone's gonna say like, oh, it's so tight and I lost my foreman because this other guy would pay him more. I actually would make the case that 9 times out of 10, that's a cover story more than it is the actual reason that someone left the business.
I I could not agree more with that statement. I did some research for another project I'm doing with, hiring and employee retention, and the numbers I found for the contracting world is retirement is basically the same percentage of people leaving a job as pay, as they are both like in that 8 to 9% range. And I would also say that that cover story is probably more from the owner's perspective than even the employees, because a lot of these companies aren't even doing exit interviews. So they're just
Totally.
going on the presumption that, like, yeah, they left because they can make more money. And yeah, that other company, Benji, they're not going to make it, though, because they're just paying way too much. They don't even know their overhead.
Right.
All of those things, when it's truly, it's not it.